Oh, hi there. Sam here with your MCO special on a Sunday. So, how's things going? As you may have guessed, today we're going to be looking at this happy thing called property. Okay, so no doubt in your forays in life, you've come across this magical thing called property, which is basically owning your own little bit of earth. Okay, your own little bit. X marks the spot. Okay, yeah, isn't everyone's dream to own a little bit of the planet we live on? Okay, so now let's talk about the process. So last time I mentioned that usually in order to get a house, so when you want to buy your own house, you go to the bank and you will get a loan, right? Okay, so basically what that involves is you asking the bank to go and buy a house for you so you can stay in it. Because unless you have a pile of money lying around, which the bank does, but in case you don't, you can't buy a house directly, right? Because it's usually quite expensive. Quite is probably an understatement. Okay, so basically you can't buy it with like one paycheck. You need to buy it with many paychecks. So so unless you're really good at saving, usually you go to the bank. Okay, you go to the bank and ask them for some of that sweet money. Okay, so what will happen is the bank will buy it for you. Okay, the bank will go, here, take this money. Okay, so you get that loan. But before that, I should mention that, of course, the bank people will ask for some info. Okay, right? Give me this. Okay, they want to check. So they check a number of things, like do you have a job? How much money do you make? So basically, what they're trying to find out is, do you make enough money to pay off the house, right? Because they're gonna lend it to you for like at least 30 years. Yeah, it's scary, isn't it? 30 years. You're gonna spend 30 years paying off that loan. Okay. Of course, that's only if you make the minimum payment. If you dump in more money, you can definitely pay it off faster. Okay. So once the bank decides that yes, you have income, you can pay off this expensive house, you can afford it, then they will get you to sign. Okay, you sign it off, pick your face. Okay, and then you can get a house, and the house is yours. Yay! Well, only partially yours, because the bank owns most of it. So the bank will usually lend you about 80 to 90%. They don't really do 100% these days, not anymore. Why? I will explain afterwards. Okay, so you have the house now. Yay! Okay, it's great. So you fork out 10%, they fork out the other 90, and then slowly over many years you pay them back. Okay, you pay them back little bits at a time. Okay, until eventually the house is yours. Best case scenario. Okay, good. All right. So I guess one question is, is now a good time to buy? So there's always a lot of speculation, and people, of course, you want to buy it when the price is low, right? You want to buy it when the house is cheap. Cheap. You know, like a bird sitting on your room and pooping on your windows. Okay, so when is it cheap? It is cheap when there is oversupply. Okay, when there's too many. So if nobody's buying houses and there's too much supply, then prices will go down. Yep. Or there's low confidence. So during these MCO times, COVID, maybe it's a good time. Okay. So of course, make an informed decision. Basically buy within your buying power. Like it's definitely good to take advantage of government initiatives and any fancy situations that makes the property prices cheaper. But of course, you should really aim to be a owner occupied or a long term investor. In order to get into it, best not to speculate with properties. Unlike the stock market. Okay, right. So so what happened is, I guess we'll talk about the story of the 2008 market crash. I don't know if you guys remember that, but that was quite an interesting time. So the question that a lot of people ask is why? What happened? What happened in 2008? Why did the stock market crash? And why did it cause a lot of unhappiness in people? All right. So now that I've explained loans, home loans, mortgages, right? So now we will talk about this thing called subprime loans. That's a terrible P. Subprime. Okay. So what is a subprime loan or subprime mortgage? Okay. So a subprime loan, subprime mortgage, is when the bank gives loans to people who may not necessarily be the best at paying it back. Okay, they are riskier loans. Okay, so they'll give you the money. They'll be like, no, it's okay. Your credit rating, maybe not so good. Credit rating, which means your ability to pay back the bank. Okay, so the credit rating, maybe not so good. Okay, but we'll give you the money anyway. We'll buy the house for you. Okay, we'll give you a loan. Why? It's because at that time, especially the US was experiencing a lot of foreign investment. A lot of people were buying houses. Cha-ching, cha-ching. Okay, so they had a lot of money. Remember I mentioned there's a pile of money? Yeah, they were sitting on a pile of money. Okay, big pile of money. Okay, so they started giving out more loans because banks want loans. It's money for them, right? Because when you pay them back, you're paying back interest. Okay, so. So there were two things that happened. One is more people started buying, more loans, more buying, okay, and more loans. Okay, because people were like, hey, I can probably afford this, yeah. So they took out subprime loans. Okay, so what happened is everyone's happy, right? Take loans. Even if you can't pay them back, it's okay. You just hang on to them for a little bit, and then you can resell them, right? So generally, what you expect is when you resell a house, after you sit on it for like maybe like 2 to 3 years, maybe about 5, maybe not even that long. Okay, and then the value of the house should go up, right? Okay, and then you sell it, and you cash in, you make some money. Okay. So, what happened in 2008? Okay, so two things. So there were a lot of these subprime loans. Okay, so seeing that there was increased demand. So as I mentioned demand and supply just now. So seeing the increase in demand, a lot of demand went up. Right, everyone's like, oh my goodness. So the property companies, a lot of construction companies were like, let's build more houses. Let's build. So they built a lot more houses. Lots of houses. Okay. Okay. Yay, houses for everyone. Okay. So the houses went up. Okay. So what happens with that is, supply also went up. Nope. Supply. Okay. So what happens with that? Once you have increased supply, what happens? The value goes down. Right? So the price goes down. Okay. So yes. So what that means is your house value has gone down. Right? Because there's suddenly so many more houses. Okay. So what happened is, if this poor chap, you decided to sell, right? When you sell, because your value dropped, you end up making a loss. You sell for less. Okay, so in which case you're like, oh my god, money, bad, not good. All right, because you're getting less than what you paid for it. So that means you gotta fork out more money. Gotta give away more money. That's not great money. All right, okay. So in addition to that, the interest rates also went up. Okay, so the interest rates, which is basically the amount of interest that banks charge. Okay, so basically you have to pay more interest. Okay, so you're already getting less money, and now you got to pay more interest. All right, so yes, very bad, very bad. So what happened is by mid 2009, the banks had to foreclose on a lot of houses. Okay, so what that means is when people can't pay, when people run out of money, no more money, the banks take the house back. Okay, all right. So yeah, of course that makes a lot of people not very happy. Okay, so in the U.S. alone they foreclosed over 1 million homes, 1 million houses, 1 million people's homes. Okay, 1 million people lost their homes. Okay, so the banks took it back. Okay, so that's one thing. Okay, so it's already a pretty bad situation. Now there was another thing. So why is there this stocks? Why is there this stock market? Okay, what happened is, as usually happens, the stock market is a fun place to basically gamble. Okay, if you think about it, people don't like the word gambling, but in essence that's what they're doing, right? It's a nice legal way of gambling. So what the stock market did is, these clever people, is they started creating securities. So what are securities? Securities are basically like ways of putting value on things and making money on things. So they made a security for the mortgages. Okay, so they're basically betting on the housing the housing industry, the value to go up, right? Because like everything, if the value goes up, then the securities go up. Okay, and basically you make money, right? You get it? Simple. So they made they basically they put bets that the industry would increase in value. Basically, that's what a security is. It's like a share. It's like you have shares in this magical fairyland where houses are a thing. Where so you're not gambling on actual houses. You're gambling on the loan market. Okay, so this gamble on loans. Okay. Yeah, it's weird, but yeah, that's the way it works. So as long as people are happy to gamble on it, that's great. So a lot of people were buying these securities. A lot of people. Okay, so expecting the property market to keep going up and up and up. Keep making more money. Okay, so what eventually happened is all of a sudden, a lot of people lost their houses, so the value went down. Okay, so pretty much what happened was, this is the stock market. It went, oh yeah, these securities doing great, boom. Okay, so when the value goes down, of course, the security value goes down, right? So a lot of people lost a lot of money. Okay, a lot of money. Okay, so that basically, sad face. Yeah, a lot of people lost a lot of money and went bankrupt, and that is what caused the stock market crash. Okay, kind of like that. Unless you're smart to short. So in case you remember, if you shorted these securities, you shorted it, then you'd be doing pretty well. If you short sell, right? Because remember what I was talking about last time? Short selling, you're waiting for the value to go down, so you make the difference. Yeah. So anyway, that's more or less what happened in 2008. So that goes back to the question, is there an oversupply? Okay. So currently, in Malaysia, there's a lot of construction going on. There's a lot of buildings popping up everywhere, all around us. Okay, new high-rise condos, fancy apartments, right? So yeah, I guess that's always a question. Should you buy, high-rise, terrace, semi-Ds? So I think based on some data, if you want to pick up, a property during the crisis, so if you want to buy a house in times of crisis, I think they found that terraces. Let's change a different color. They found that terrace houses and high-rise. Terrace houses, all right, the ones that are stuck together. Okay, and high-rise. These are probably better bets than the semi-Ds. Okay, so get you one of them condos or whatever. All right, and then yes, eventually the market will recover. So when that happens, then you'll be sitting pretty. But again, during crisis times, it's probably not a good time to speculate. And but hey, if you got the money, by all means, if you got the holding power, go for it. Okay. And yeah, that's all for me. Hope you have fun buying a house. Okay. And if you already have a house, hope you don't worry too much. Just sit tight. The value will come back. Okay. So yeah, that's all from me for today. Have a great weekend, and I'm out. See ya.